Hey, what's up everyone? My name's Chris Winter and today I've got my hands on both the Canon 80D and also the Sony A6300, and I wanted to test out their autofocus performance in video mode. Now if you haven't done it yet, make sure to subscribe as I'm going to be giving away either one of these cameras to a subscriber. And guys, also make sure to check out my top 10 list of the best cameras for under $1,200. Now both of these cameras make the list, but they don't come in at number one, so check out the list to see what does. But anyway, let's check out the autofocus performance of both of these cameras. So I started off this test with the A6300 shooting at 18mm, and as you can see it performed really quite well, as it should, especially at such a wide field of view. Now as you can tell, this is 4K footage downscaled to 1080p. I thought it looked really quite nice. Now we'll move over to the Canon 80D, also shooting at 18mm, and it also didn't have much of a problem at all. You might be able to notice that the Canon 80D was slightly slower in its focusing. This is something that I've noticed quite a lot during all of these tests. Next up, we're moving on to the A6300 at 30mm, so a little bit of a longer focal length. And you can see just how quick the A6300 is at autofocus. It's incredibly quick and it's very, very impressive. And we're moving over to the Canon 80D at 30mm, and it also did work really quite well, but you can definitely notice a much different focusing style. It does take a little bit longer to focus. And finally, we're going to move up to 55mm, which is the longest end here. One thing I want you guys to note, this isn't actually to do with autofocusing, is the jello effect on the Sony A6300. When I do these whip pans, it really is quite obvious, but it is very fast autofocus. And finally, we're over to the 80D, and as you can tell, it doesn't have that much of a jello effect like the A6300 does. And I probably do prefer the way that it autofocuses. It is quite a lot slower and a little bit more cinematic, so take your pick. So that was just a quick test, guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Nothing too scientific, but it did show to me that the Sony A6300 is incredibly quick at autofocus for video. But if you do want a more cinematic and a little bit slower autofocus, and maybe even a little bit more reliable, I'd head for the 80D. Now guys, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.